Sure. So yeah, hello everybody. I think we've got a few in. Uh, we normally do these in a sort of slightly different format, but we've got some small numbers today. So we thought we'd sort of change it around a little bit. And we noticed Andy Dunn was on the attendee list. So like the true gen that he is, after a quick call this morning, he's agreed just to come on and have a bit of a chat with us. So Andy, if you're there, hello. You may have to put your mic and your camera on. There you go. Hello, how are you doing? Nice to see you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon
My
indeed.
Microsoft Teams has just forced me to use the new version, which I've been holding
Yeah,
off of. So
yeah.
I'm sorry. Am I echoing?
No, all sounds crystal clear here, but I'm with you on that, Andy. I've been delaying and delaying going classic Teams because I just don't want the hassle of having to change to a new system. So,
Yeah.
I feel for you. But no, we can hear you loud and clear. Thanks for joining us at such short notice. Really appreciate it. So we kind of build this webinar as a kind of a bit of a catch up on kind of the recruitment sector and a bit of a market appraisal, but also a bit of a look back at the team conference from 3 weeks ago now, wasn't it? I think just coming up for 3 weeks ago. So
3 weeks.
Look, we thought we'd get you on and have a bit more of an in-depth chat about it. It was a fantastic event. Have you come down yet? Are you sort of back to normality after the sort of the hitting the ceiling and the sort of stress levels and the excitement of it all?
I thought it took us probably 9 months of prep to get there. 3 months of like full on, but yeah, we've not come down from it at all. I mean, just the feedback that we got from the event itself, I'll be honest, we were really overwhelmed by it. And we had a plan, right? So we obviously used hashtag team conference on social media. What we tried to do was to engage with every post, and we couldn't do it. There was too much. I mean, I was personally tagged on 88 posts in one day, and my phone I just couldn't keep up with it all. But thank you for inviting me onto this. It's really nice to be welcomed. Rich called me when I was stopping at the petrol station picking up chicken and steaks to cook for my wife and son tonight. So my daughter's just flown to Tenerife for first 18-year-old holiday. So he just caught me on the hop. But I was like, yeah, I'll definitely be there at 12:30.
Yeah, so. Perfect. Yeah, barbecue tonight. We had our first barbecue of the season last night, actually, at our place. So definitely, it is the season for sure. Yeah,
and 350 attendees at the conference, wasn't there, Andy? I mean, it was certainly very busy.
Yeah, it was almost twice as big as Conference 2023. Yeah. So obviously I started in my role at team 2 weeks before that conference. So I wasn't involved in any of the planning, the organising. Obviously I was involved in trying to get some more tickets shifted towards the end. But what we wanted to do was focus the conference on the feedback from last year. So we got all of these ideas from our members and our suppliers about what they wanted, who they wanted to hear from. They wanted a thought leader to open the conference as opposed to a talk from me and Simon. They wanted a female keynote. So it was our 10th conference. We'd had 9 keynotes that were men.
Right.
And that fitted so perfectly having Sally Gunnell there because it was 30
great.
years.
Yeah.
It was 30 years since she won the gold in the Olympics. So we managed to bag her in January. Yeah. We paid for Sally and we knew that she would be great. I got to see her at another recruitment event and I saw a similar talk that she did about mindset and overcoming challenges. I was going to say hurdles, but I wasn't going to use that word. But overcoming challenges. And, obviously our members and a lot of people in recruitment have had that kind of year, a year full of challenges and hurdles. Absolutely. And mindset is such a key thing. So, yeah, we booked her on that basis. Lots of our members said, look, we'll bring a lot more of our staff if you provide training. So we set 2 rooms up specifically for recruitment consultant training. We had Elevate, we had Jeremy Snell, we had all the recruiting gym. They had a huge crew there.
Yeah. I mean, some of the big names were there, weren't they? There was because you guys get a lot of talks throughout the year at team, and a lot of people, suppliers come to your networking meetings. But everybody who was anybody was at the conference. We didn't get a chance to go into any of the talks or the seminars because we were kind of manning the stand, weren't we, Mike? We were exhibiting. Yeah. So we were kind of busy chatting away. So yeah. it looked really busy in and out of those rooms. Everyone was up for it, and yeah, you know, Hung Lee at the start doing his bit was great. I think the little feedback that we got chatting to people as they came in and out of the seminars and the sessions, that, you know, such valuable takeaways from those talks. You know, like you said, the likes of Jeremy Snell, always popular, Recruiting Jim, I think Jump Advisory were there as well. So loads of little nuggets of information for your business to take away.
Yeah. Well, last year we got 26 pages of feedback in total, and that's what we based Conference 2024 on. I've got 96 pages of feedback just from members this year. Wow. 37 pages of feedback from our suppliers and speakers, which was great. And then probably 16 pages of feedback from our national exec. So like all of the regional and divisional directors of team that ran some of those sort of smaller networking breakouts in the afternoon. So we got lots and lots of new ideas. And I was saying to Rich in the car as well, next year we're not gonna just recreate what we did this time. We're gonna try and evolve it, take it to a new level. Yeah. But yeah, it was amazing experience, great day. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go see many of the talks either.
I bet you didn't. Yeah, every time I saw you, Andy, you were sort of running from one side of the building to the other to try and sort of be where you needed to be, or, you know, sort of deal with whatever needed doing. So I can imagine, yeah, you enjoyed it, but also didn't get a chance to properly sort of get a feel for a lot of the sessions. And yeah, it's just part and parcel of hosting a massive event like that, isn't it? But from what you were saying earlier about next year's event, you know, that sounds really exciting. You know, the fact that you kind of you changed it this year compared to last year, and listened to people and you know, sort of try to improve it. You know, yeah, next year is going to be even better. So yeah, top that. It's, you know, it's going to be a big
with all the feedback. I'm sure by the sounds of it, you haven't gone through it all, because that sounds like a job in itself. But from the day, what were your sort of key takeaways about people were either finding useful, or what issues they were facing and sort of seeking advice on, Andy?
That's a good question, and it does sum up like how team network members behave with each other. In the different forms of networking that we do. So, you know, it's really hard to answer your question. I have read it all. I've read all the feedback. I dragged a lot of it into ChatGPT, and I got it to analyze all of the data and then segment it into, you know, feedback on the speakers, feedback on the topics. We've been doing other stuff different this year as well. So every time someone books into an event for us, we ask them, what's the most important issue in your business that you want to talk about? So we've actually got 400 topics or 400 bits of data from the attendees of our events for the first half of this year as well. Yeah. People are overwhelmed with AI and tech, so they were really keen to go into those sessions. But actually, the key thing, we talk about AI, that the key thing that members like is actually hearing what other members are really doing with it, and what they're buying, what they're investing. You know, everyone's had a really tough year market wise. You're either, the majority of members that I've spoken to certainly is, you know, they're looking for more clients, they're looking to upskill on their BD. So that was one of the key things that they took from it, was that, you know, they had a load of ideas. I think I said in a post a couple of days before conference, like, make sure you bring a notepad, because you're going to go back with a ton of like bullet points of things that you can practically put into play. When you get back to the office. But it was so varied, Mike. Like, there was a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, because, you know, when we were putting this together, Rich and I were saying, okay, well, you know, let's just not start it with the market's tough, because everyone knows the market's tough. It's, you know, it's what you do without it. And actually, going back, I thought Sally Gunner was inspirational, because you mentioned about mindset. Now, I do have the advantage of, I can remember her 30 years ago winning a gold medal, okay, which a lot of people in the room I don't think would have done. But, you know, it was far from easy for her. She wasn't, you know, she wasn't a naturally, you know, she had to work really, really hard for it. And hearing the pain that she went through and the hurdles she overcame, and I use that without any pun intended. Yeah, it was, you know, it's just like running a business, and, you know, and felt alone at times, etc., etc. And I think there was a lot of analogies that a lot of similarities that people can draw in a year like this year, when you're thinking, you know, I'm just banging my head against a bloody brick wall. And then actually you see that people have been through that. It's quite natural, and you move through, and you'll be better for it, and probably win at the end of the day as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think just picking up on, that talk specifically, we asked her to put together for us to kind of link into what we're hearing from our members and suppliers as well. But yeah, just I think talks like that, there's always a couple of things, isn't there, that just really resonate with you on a personal level.
Yeah.
And you think, do you know what, I can try that, or how I feel about something that's happening. Like, is it happening to me? Is it happening around me? What can I do about it? It was really good. Unfortunately, with Sally as well, like I was also involved in the raffle, so I was actually at the back of the room tearing raffle tickets up, getting that ready for the big raffle that went for the mental health charity.
There's a lot of draws coming out of that raffle, weren't there? When poor Sally giving those prizes out, but she did well. And the elephant as well, the green umbrella elephant. She was
giraffe.
Sorry, the giraffe, not the elephant. Yeah, good. Yeah, the giraffe. That was fantastic. That picture.
Was that the elephant in the room, Rich?
yeah. I think that's We shouldn't mention that. No, it was the giraffe. Yeah, that Sally was posing with. It's fantastic. But there were so many parallels from what she was talking about, and I think a lot of it kind of comes back to kind of mental health and sort of positivity around that. And I know there were a few sessions that were kind of sort of facing that way at the event. And I know you've got you're sort of really big on that at team, and you've got sort of some plans around that, haven't you, Andy, as well? But that's such a massive part of recruitment, because it can be a lonely place, especially if you're a solo recruiter, and the market can be tough, and like you say, you feel like you're banging your head against a wall. So having that kind of mental headspace and the mental health kind of support around you is really important as well, I think.
I think, spoiler alert, we're going to do a lot more of the mental health stuff at next year's conference. Well, we're not just doing it at conference, we're doing it every month now. We kicked off a team mental health and wellbeing series of webinars in April. We've had 3 so far. We were supposed to have one literally now as we're speaking. But obviously the tragic news of Ryan McCabe's passing from Odro.
Sure.
Sean Anderson's rerunning one of his rag podcasts where he's interviewing Ryan. So we decided to postpone it and move it to a couple of weeks. But yeah, mental health in recruitment is something that people kind of, I think, skirt around, and we're an industry that's just full of stresses, and full of rejections. I always used to say to people, 99% of the stuff that I used to work on never landed. So that resilience piece, but it does I was a solo business owner for 7 years. I found real solace in team, because just being able to pick up the phone and actually have a contact or have contacts with other people that are in the same situation as myself. Some people have joined us recently, as a matter of fact, don't want to use advertising, they don't want to use any of the supply services, they don't want to physically go to face-to-face meetings. They just want to be in the WhatsApp groups and the virtual onlines, just to feel like they're a part of something.
Part of the community.
Part of the community, And we're thinking next year, like at conference, of having, whereas we had rooms this year for thought leadership, breakout sessions, marketing, training, strategy, tech and AI, and thought, and what was the last one? We had another room. But we're actually thinking of having a room or an area that's dedicated to mental health and well-being. Right. And we've had loads of people approach us that work in this market that they want to add value to the network. So that's one of the things we're definitely going to do. And we did obviously a net walk. We did a networking meeting on foot the day before, and we had like 30.
There's a lot of people on that, weren't there? From what I could see.
Yeah,
it was busy.
There was 30 people. There was probably 17 or 18 members. There was about 12 suppliers, a couple of guests. Wendy Gannon came along, our photographer. She came along for the start, and then she realised that it was 6 miles, and she's like, "I ain't doing this."
So she lugging her camera and all of the equipment with her.
She did about half a mile. Yeah. But actually, the photos that we all captured over the course of that, that walk, was a lot longer. And I was really stupid. I haven't got them here, but I wore a pair of Dunk Pandas for it, and my feet were killing me by the end. But it was a really good experience, because it was 2 hours, just over 2 hours. Every like half a kilometre, or kilometre, Julia, who ran it, Julia Doherty from Adventure Geek, she'd stop everyone and she gave them a bit of paper and it had like, I don't know, find someone that's watched the last Avatar movie, or find someone that likes spicy food, or find someone that likes lemonade or whatever. And then you had to walk around, find someone that said, oh, that's me. And then you had to walk with them for the next half a kilometre.
Yeah.
And then you got to know them, you got to learn about their business, what they're doing. Like, I learned loads of stuff about people that I didn't know before. Talked to loads and loads of people on it. And it was, the feedback was amazing. Like, everyone loved it. And I think we're going to do it again. We've already started to talk to Julia about doing version 2 at one of our other regional networking events, and then having it afterwards.
Great. You know, look out for that. That sounds good.
That sounds like a great tip for, you know, if you've got a little bit of a team, you know, instead of the do the usual, go to the pub, you know, it's, you know, something to really break the ice of that. You know, those are the techniques where you scratch the surface, under the surface, not just the veneer that they'll put on in the pub, etc. So you really get to know your employees. I mean, there's little things like that which I could see being really useful to people. I mean, the one thing that I took away from the conference as a supplier and being with Rich on the stand all day is I was amazed. We got a lot of people still, Rich, didn't we, coming up and asking about overseas, trading overseas, etc.
A lot of interest.
Yeah, you know, and I think we probably spent about a third of our time speaking to people, not about the traditional market of, you know, yeah, we can fund it and give you a back office, but yeah, you know, okay, so this overseas business, what can you do to help us? You know, we're pretty well equipped now to be able to help with overseas. And I found that quite interesting because, I mean, that very much led on from I know it was one of the big conference themes of the 23 was, you know, trading overseas, look, you know, expand your market, etc. And that's really starting to feed through now.
Yeah. Well, we've got quite a bustling international division within team as well. So that was the last. So we just had to, you asked me, Rich, right at the start of this, have I come down from the conference? I haven't had a chance to, because the Tuesday after the conference, Monday was okay. We did all of our feedback, got all our templates set up, asked everyone to give us some feedback. On the Tuesday, our communications platform that we invested quite a bit of money into last year, so it was a professional networking platform for people to communicate with each other, announced they're going bust. I had to basically drop everything and build a WhatsApp community from the ground up, which has now got 750 people in it and going crazy. But we've just added an international group into that as well.
Oh, great.
So that's a place where suppliers and members can chat about international opportunities. There's lots of members that are looking to expand into different markets, or you know, especially niche recruiters that are working in a specific sector that sees an opportunity to maybe work in a different country but with the same client base. You know, like similar to my background. You know, I worked in the defense sector. I worked with all the, you know, all the big defense contractors around the world, BAE Systems, Lockheed Martin, you know, Northrop Grumman, Boeing. They've got offices all over the world. You're working with one entity in the UK. That's not going to stop you from tapping into those internationally. So I think there's a great opportunity for those specialist recruiters out there to do that.
Yeah, we had loads of conversations around that, and it seems to be what sort of recruit. You know, obviously when times are tough, you know, you sort of look for alternative routes to market and alternative revenue streams. So that kind of makes sense. That people are doing that. And yeah, no, I did see your message about the WhatsApp group and the sort of the unexpected change to your kind of your service provider. So no, you did well on that. But again, that just kind of comes back to that community feel within team. And everyone that, you know, I've been a sort of a service provider at team for quite a while now at various companies that I've worked for. You know, at Giant now, obviously for the last couple of years or so, but. It's always been a community, and I always get the impression, I always feel like team is, even if all these people who are members of team decided not to be recruiters anymore, not to do that anymore, they'd all still get together in a room. Do you know what I mean? They'd all still want to spend time together and sort of speak to each other, because it's just that support network that's you know, sort of speaks volumes. And there are obviously other sort of industry bodies out there as well as team. That do a lot of good things, but so team does certainly have a bit of a special feeling, and you know, we love being a part of it. So look, Andy, I think we'll wrap it up there, and sort of let you get back to your lunch or to your barbecue by the sounds of it later on today.
It's an uni actually.
Oh, is it? Oh, brilliant. Yeah, my brother-in-law
got an uni on my birthday, so it was the 14th of May.
Yeah.
And
the pizza oven job.
It's a pizza oven, gas fired,
Yeah.
so it gets hot in like it's a stone plate. Gets hot in 15 minutes. I'm not kidding you. I've made pizzas probably 15 times since the 14th of May. But my wife also bought me the skillet, so it's like a cast iron that goes inside the pizza oven, and cooking steaks and chicken and peppers on it and onions. And I make my own homemade pita bread. So I promised my son and my wife I'll make it for them tonight. So homemade pitas. Got a nice steak. Got some nice chicken. Marinating with Nando sauce on it in a moment, so it'll be nice this evening.
And unis are available from where?
Plug, yeah.
I love it.
Down the list, did we, Rich? Oh, we're going to talk about pizza ovens.
But talking about mental health, like it's things like that gets me away from my desk.
Yeah,
gets me like not thinking about other things. Like I just immerse myself in I love cooking. I love Lego, obviously, and I love cooking. But yeah, just. I love the whole, making the dough, letting it prove, kneading it out, making stuff, getting all the meats and the vegetables prepped. I love it. Like,
therapeutic, isn't it? The process of it. Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah. Well, we're on our way down to you. We're coming. We're coming to the barbecue. Yeah, you've tempted us to talk to this. I've
got some beer in the fridge. I'll put it in the cool box.
It sounds like a plan, guys. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you jumping on last minute, Andy. Really great to catch up. And yeah, we'll look out for news on next year's conference and all the other great stuff you've got coming up. Yeah, can't wait to hear all about it. But thanks for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me.
We'll speak soon.
All right, take care. Bye bye.
Thanks all. Bye bye.